As the Ukrainian counteroffensive is picking up steam, the Russian defense is gradually collapsing. Russian sources report the collapse of the Russian army and that the village of Robotyne is under the control of the Ukrainian armed forces. We await official confirmations. In my opinion, it was a matter of time the collapse of one of the most fortified villages on the front, that the Russian army is in retreat anyway. They recorded the Ukrainian army's control of some strongholds east of Robotyne village and improving their tactical positions. In recent days, the Ukrainian armed forces have bombed the positions of the Russian army in Novoprokopivka, which is practically the code to open the safe, the opening of the first line of defense in the direction of Tokmak, in the direction of Melitopol. The Russian armed forces are in total panic because they are forced to send their reserves to the Kherson front, Cossack camps, where they do not allow themselves to leave a breach risking being surrounded. Robotyne-Verbov front, where every day they claim losses extremes. Vuhledar front in the direction of Staromlynivka, direction of Berdyansk, where the Ukrainian army advances southwest of Staromyorsky. Bakhmut front, where the Ukrainian army advances towards Andriivka and south of Klishchivka, thus doing the Russian army risk another breakthrough of the Marfopil-Dorozhnyanka front, Zaporizhia. In this direction, the presence of the Ukrainian armed forces is increasingly recorded. Russian forces are reportedly suffering from shortages of tires for Ural and Kamaz trucks. A Russian mill blogger claimed that the Russian armed forces are facing similar tire shortages that have previously been observed in Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics, DNR and LNR, People's Militias. The mill blogger noted that a lack of new tires may slow down supplies of ammunition to the front lines and will stop the movement of trucks during muddy weather in the fall. The mill blogger added that Russian forces face an acute shortages of auto parts for these trucks. Karma is visiting Moscow. Margarita Simonian, one of Russia's top pro-war propagandists, is complaining that a Ukrainian drone was shot down on the street one over from her. Not so much fun when it is your neighborhood hearing large explosions, is it? Ukrainian strikes on Russian rear areas are demonstrably degrading the morale of Russian forces in Ukraine, which could threaten the stability of Russian defenses on multiple critical areas of the front, writes the Institute for the Study of War. Russian frontline units, particularly in southern Ukraine, have frequently struggled with degraded morale following Ukrainian strikes on rear areas. Morale issues can quickly intensify and spread among Russian frontline units if one unit under pressure breaks, which could spread panic and significantly reduce the combat effectiveness of other Russian forces. A broken Russian frontline unit would threaten the integrity of other frontline defenses, and such a break in the Russian frontline would provide a vulnerability that Ukrainian forces could exploit. Russian forces also likely lack the necessary reserves to rotate out or quickly replace a broken unit, as ISW has previously assessed, making the preservation of morale in frontline units imperative. Morale issues pertaining to the Russian defense against Ukrainian counteroffensive operations are only relevant if Ukrainian forces can degrade Russian morale to the breaking point and take advantage of it. These morale issues will not matter if Russian forces do not break under this pressure. There is no way to predict if, when, or where a Russian unit might break under sustained pressure. But Ukrainian forces are setting conditions to increase the likelihood of such a development. Destruction of the Russian Brem-1, armored repairable evacuation vehicle, in the Bakhmut direction. It was trying to pull out a damaged or abandoned Russian BMP. The Russian-Ukrainian war has caused a boom for American defense companies, which are aggressively expanding production and factory capacity. Of the $44 billion allocated by the United States for the production of weapons for Ukraine and the replenishment of American stocks, the Pentagon has so far mastered $18 billion, or 40% of the total amount, by concluding the relevant contracts. It is noted that the U.S. is investing in expanding the production of ammunition, drones, anti-aircraft missiles, and other types of weapons, focusing mainly on 155mm artillery shells. In Kiev, on Khreshchatyk, preparations began for a parade of destroyed Russian equipment. About 20 units of various types of destroyed enemy equipment, including tanks, self-propelled howitzers, BMPs, MTLBs, armored personnel carriers, BMDs, and the remains of downed missiles have already been brought to the main street of the capital. Zelensky reiterated that the delay in the start of the Ukrainian offensive was due to delays in the supply of Western weapons.
Не робили потужних контрнаступальних дій раніше, тому що, чесно, не було з чим. А якщо у вас є дефіцит броньованої техніки, дефіцит танків, можуть загинути тисячі людей. Ви пройдете 1, 2, 3, 5 кілометрів, але ви втратите тисячі людей, які просто загинуть, але у вас не буде, ви не досягнете тієї цілі, яка єдина, яка нам всім потрібна, це деокупація, повна деокупація всієї нашої території. Ось і все, ми чекали, поки у нас будуть потужності. Цей час, так воно і є, Російська Федерація мінувала, робила укріплення, це зрозуміло. Багато яких укріплень вони зробили ще 8 років тому, я вам скажу відверто, починаючи з 14, 15, 16 років, вони все це робили, на Донбасі вони це робили.
Dmitry Glukovsky, Russian writer. We betrayed the Ukrainians. It is not they who betrayed us. We again present ourselves as victims and explain to ourselves that we were forced to do all this because they were the first to start. No, we started first. We stabbed in the back.
Мы предали украинцев, не они нас предали. Мы опять здесь себя выставляем жертвами и объясняем себе, что мы были вынуждены все это сделать, потому что вот они там первые начали. Нет, мы первые начали, мы ударили в спину, мы бомбили в 4 часа утра Киев, мы уничтожали украинские города. Это была ничем не спровоцированная, чудовищная агрессия против народа, который когда-то нам был братским. И без осознания катастрофичности того, что мы сделали, чудовищной несправедливости, которую мы учинили и к которой мы оказались сопричастны, мы не сможем не просто переродиться, мы не сможем продолжить существование. Это будет некроз. Россию ждет покаяние, и я думаю, что без поражения очевидного для каждого в украинской войне, что является, безусловно, единственным желаемым исходом событий, Россия не сможет трансформироваться, Россия не сможет переродиться.
I want to return to Ukraine. The words of this girl resonate with pain in the hearts of millions of Ukrainians who were forced by Russia to become refugees. We will liberate our territories, and Ukrainian people will definitely return home after the victory.
Що це, донь, є?
Україна.
Чому ти плачеш?
Я хочу туди повернутися.
Рідна Україна? Колись не приїде.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.